Hello dear viewers, and welcome back again to Good Morning Kuwait. And now we're going to start with our first guest, and he is a Harvard college graduate, studied music and literature, 30 years career as a Wall Street investment banker in NYC, London, Riyadh, arrived to Kuwait in 2006, working as a banker, retired in 2016 to do music full-time. Ahmadi Music Group now consists of orchestra, choir, monthly concerts, jazz, chamber music school. So let's welcome Richard Bushman, Director of Ahmadi Music, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Such a long CV, and from a banker to actually being a full-time musician.
Yes, it's either varied or it's chaotic, depending on your viewpoint.
Which one did you actually prefer most, being a banker or a musician full-time?
You know, a lot of bankers complain about being bankers, but I always enjoyed it. I like the people, I like the technologies, you know, all those kind of things. So really both were good for me.
So now you've done both of them. Where do you find yourself right now, like as a person, where you used to be and where you are right now?
You know, now that I'm old, as everyone can see, and kind of thinking what is the whole shape of my life, I like the work that I do now. Mm-hmm. It's even though I spend a lot of the time with 7-year-old children trying to make them focus and concentrate, which is not easy to do, as you know. The money is bad compared to the old days. But this work is really a happy thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, I have a 6-year-old myself, and it's very hard for her to concentrate on actually doing her gymnastics.
Yes.
So, yeah. But they'll get through it, and they're going to love it in the end. So you chose the violin. Why is it that you chose it? And we've heard that it's one of the most hardest instruments to play, and why is that?
Well, it's certainly true. If you hear in America, if you hear a really good student orchestra, 18-year-old players, it took the string players, the violin players, 10 years to get to that. It took the wind players, the flute and the clarinet, 5 years to get to that. So it takes twice as long. Wow. It's so physically unnatural to stand in the position and that kind of thing. So, you know, it was decided by the music community in about 1700 that the violin will be the main instrument of the orchestra. But it could have been the oboe, it could have been the flute. But somehow composers just love the sound, and to this day in the orchestra, the main, you know, the main person carrying the tune is the violin section. Mm-hmm. So it happened to me when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old. A lady came into my school class and said, you know, if you will rent a violin, the town will pay for you to have lessons for free. Wow. And somehow, I don't know why, I went home and said to my mother, I want to learn violin. And I never liked to practice. Some guys really like to work hard. I didn't that much. But I loved playing. I loved being in groups, playing. I loved the people. So
it's very actually amazing that when you go to Asia, everyone is actually concentrated and heavily concentrated on the violin more than actually in Europe and the Americas. It's actually wonderful. For me, I love the cello. Actually,
yes,
I'm a big fan of the cello, very much, yes. So, do you only play international musics, or do you mix it a bit with Arabic?
Do you know, I'm certainly not an expert on Arabic music, but I love doing it. I don't know if you know this famous violinist, Laith Sadiq.
Yes, I do.
Came last year to Kuwait to play a concert, and they asked me to get a little ensemble to accompany him in his concert, which we did. It was so fun. And I asked him, would you come to our student group? And visit them and teach them one of your pieces, which he did. He was such a nice person. And so we do a few things in the student group, and we did in the Jack in the Opera House about 6 or 7 weeks ago. We did a big concert there, Beethoven Symphony, and we put in Helwadi, and we put in a couple of Arabic songs at the end. So I love the sound of the music. I love hearing it played. I love the history of it in Kuwait, cultural history, and I wish I was more knowledgeable about it.
All right. So, in general, what do you think about the progression of music here in Kuwait? Is it getting better, or is it still in a static kind of
Well,
level?
I talk about it from two ways. You know, our thing in Ahmadi Music Group, we are half about performance and we're half about teaching, 50% each. And the last 5 years have been not good for musicians in Kuwait. There have been people leaving and this and that. COVID, of course, put everything back to zero that we do. Right. But this year, 3 or 4 great musicians have moved to Kuwait. So, right. So that's exciting for us. On the children's side, as you probably know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, Kuwait government schools had a very active music program.
Amazing. Could we just take
Yeah,
a break
sure.
and we'll be right back after this? All right, dear viewers, a short break and we'll be right back.
Uh-huh.
Hello, dear viewers, and we're back again after the break. So, we actually wanted to bring in your instrument and see what you can play for us for a piece. If you could tell us about your violin a little bit. I know some people actually name their violins because they love it.
Well, this violin I love because I bought it from my daughter when she was about 17 years old.
Okay.
And now she has a different one that she uses in London. But I love having it with me. It's not very old. But I really like playing it. It's probably a good level for me.
But it has a beautiful backstory, and that's amazing.
I'm not a particularly great violin player at all.
Okay.
There are several violin players who are quite greater than me. But I'll tell you, when I go into a children's school class to try and invite them to come and have violin lessons, I say to them, we can play on violin music that makes us feel happy. So sort of dancing music. We can play music that makes us feel sad. We can make music that makes us feel proud. And so on. So that's the great thing about music. There's every kind. And myself, I love every kind. Jazz, pop, classical, all that kind of thing.
All right, amazing. I mean, the way that you shifted from one to another was such a... You actually play very well.
Oh, you're nice to say. I wish.
So what are the activities of Ahmadi Music Group right now?
Well, we say about Ahmadi Music Group that we're the oldest and the biggest cultural organization in Kuwait. We have concert records from 1955. We're coming up on we're 70 years this year. So we say we're the oldest. No one's ever contradicted me on that. I think it might even be true. I say it all the time. So originally it was a community choir started in Ahmadi by KOC, by the oil company. When they started bringing expatriates to Kuwait, they made this singing group for them and people joined. When I became the leader of it, I said we have to increase our ambition. We have to do way more difficult, complicated things. So we started doing fully staged opera, with costumes and scenery. We've done, Mozart opera and a bunch, and Bizet, great composers. We formed the symphony orchestra, which is still going. As I say, we played in the Jack. We're the first orchestra to play in the Opera House. I think we've been there more than any other international group. We have jazz. My son started the Kuwait Jazz Collective, which we still keep going now. We have chamber music concerts, so small group, 3, 4, 5 people. And now the biggest thing time-wise is the school. We have members of Ahmadi Music Group do most of the music teaching in Kuwait. They're employed in all different schools, and I think that we teach more music to Kuwaiti children than everyone else in the country combined.
Oh, amazing.
And try to build up both the balance of international and Kuwaiti music.
Now, with that all in hand, where do you see the future? Or where's the vision of the Ahmadi group, music group?
We have 3 big ambitions. And I say this to everybody, which is number 1, I need to keep the orchestra alive. And even if they only do 2, 3, 4 concerts a year, that's enough to keep them going. That's number one. Number two is we're trying to build a teaching program so that 20 years from now, the orchestra will be 80% Kuwaiti. We want to put ourselves out of business, out of a job, be replaced by young Kuwaiti musicians. That's number two. And number three is, I think there's a huge cultural opportunity for Kuwait, which is to be the world #1 in new Arabic language opera. Arabic language opera is a global opportunity that no one is grabbing. Saudi Arabia now and then they do one thing, this or that will do one thing, but there's a chance to own it. And that's what I wish I could get, you know, the cultural authorities in Kuwait excited about, because compared to other things that people try to do, it's inexpensive, there's no competition, really we could be the world #1 on it.
Then I think that the road to that will be as easy as pie, as they say, but with a lot of practice, since you're the only one actually heading towards that goal. And I hope the best for you, Mr. Richard, and we hope to see you soon again on the show and on concerts. I'm very excited to see you in Jack one day.
Great. I hope to see you there.
You're all right. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon again.
Thank you very much.
All right, dear viewers, that was our guest, Mr. Richard Bushman, director of the Ahmadi Muse Group. And right now, Kuwait Motor Town is hosting Motocross Championship for this season. It marks the first round of the junior motocross category, where a private company was sponsoring the championship rounds to promote this sport in Kuwait. Now, Faisal Al-Halaq and Yusuf Mohammed Ja'far and Yamaha Kuwait sponsored motocross racers representing the brand. Our technical team from the private company of Kuwait Service Department is present to support them during the race. So let's see this great report and I'll be right back.